I froze when my phone buzzed with another doorbell camera alert. Not again, I thought, another package gone. I tapped the footage, already expecting some random delivery hiccup, but nope, there she was, Sophia Wilson, the so-called queen of Maplewood Estates, strutting up to my porch in her signature pink blazer like she owned the world. She glanced left, right, and without a single ounce of hesitation, she snatched my box and just walked off, smirk and all, as if daring me. What are you going to do about it? That was the fourth time in a month. My daughter's Christmas gift. My prescription, even my new set of tools, gone. But this time, I wasn't just mad. I was thinking, planning, because Sophia thought her fancy HOA title made her untouchable. She figured she could rewrite the rules for everybody, and nobody would fight back. But let me tell you, she was about to learn what happens when you push the wrong person. Before we really dive in, drop a comment letting me know where you're watching from and what time it is for you. And make sure you're subscribed because this is one story you'll want to see through to the end. I moved into Maplewood Estates 6 months after my divorce. Just wanted a quiet, clean start for me and my daughter. The neighborhood looked like those real estate brochures. Neat lawns, picket fences, nothing dramatic, just peace. At first, it really was that simple. Morning coffees on the porch, the old guy down the street waving as he watered his flowers. Even the mailbox fit all the junk mail I'd collected through the years. But then, the packages started to vanish. The first time it was a birthday scarf for my daughter, blamed it on the delivery guy. Second box, same story, then my meds disappeared. By the third time, I realized it wasn't just bad luck. Now, I didn't want to come off paranoid, and God knows I didn't want to be that neighbor making a scene, but I also wasn't about to leave my stuff out for some porch pirate. So I got myself one of those ugly little doorbell cameras, just a lens and some peace of mind. Or so I hoped. The very first morning it caught something. And what I saw on that tiny screen just about knocked the wind out of me. Sophia walked up my porch like she'd done it 100 times. Blonde hair in that tight ponytail, pink blazer. Sunglasses, every bit the boss of the block. She looked around, checked the street, then scooped up my box as if she was rescuing a lost puppy, not stealing someone's package. At first, I couldn't believe it. The HOA president? The lady who ran every meeting and controlled every community barbecue, just taking my things like it was her God-given right? But the more I watched the clip, the angrier I got. Sophia, guardian of neighborhood standards, was just a common thief, no different than a pickpocket with better taste in cardigans. She lived 3 doors down, always driving that blindingly white SUV, spotless, and just as fake as her spreadsheets. When I started matching up the camera times with my own schedule, I saw her pattern: late mornings, just after the mail came, when most folks were away. Medium boxes only. She wanted the good stuff. I showed the footage to George, my neighbor across the street. He's a retired cop, bad knee now, grows tomatoes. He watched the clip, rubbed his chin, and finally said, "That's her all right. But you sure you want to stir this up, John? She's got power here." I just told him, "I want my stuff back." Next, we talked to Mrs. Chun down the block, 90 years old, cardigan as faded as her lavender patch. Her grandson's birthday present had vanished the same way. She even texted Sophia, who brushed her off with, "Just file a report." And when I finally called the cops, the officer listened, nodded, but told me without proof of intent, there was nothing they could do, unless I found more victims. All I left with was a stamped report and a sense of defeat. Then Sophia's real campaign began. A violation notice on my door, wrong paint on my mailbox, the grass a fraction too long. Another notice, this time for leaving a trash bin out. Her signature on every one, that looping cursive like a slap in the face. I saw the game now. She was sending a message: "I run this place." The Facebook group lit up. Someone posted a blurry photo of a pink blazer walking off a porch. Comments rolled in. "That's Sophia. My packages too." But nobody dared to post her name. Everyone was afraid. She controlled who got patio approvals, who could build a deck. One wrong move, and you were her next target. That's the thing about bullies. They thrive on everyone else's silence. So I started keeping records, times, missing items, names of neighbors with similar stories. I left bold notes on new packages, property of John Davis. I watched the camera like a hawk, hands steady, waiting for her next move. When the fourth package vanished, I sent the footage to the cops again. Still, circumstantial evidence. The police shrugged, and Sophia doubled down, ratcheting up the fines and acting like I was the problem. At the next HOA meeting, I confronted her, put the video on the table. You took my packages. She didn't even flinch. I was returning misplaced items, she lied, cool as ice. If you keep making accusations, Mr. Davis, that's harassment. I stared her down. Go ahead. But the notices just kept coming. And the Facebook posts? They started adding up, cautiously, as more people spoke out, never by name, always in whispers. Then Mrs. Chun messaged me. She took my granddaughter's present. I saw her, but I was afraid. That broke something in me. I realized it wasn't just about me anymore. It was about everyone she'd steamrolled, all too scared to speak up. That night, George came by with beers and a grin. You look like a man ready for trouble, he said. I'm tired of being polite, I answered. You need proof she can't wash off, he said, and that stuck with me. I started researching at night, package theft deterrents, glitter bombs, dye packs, stink sprays. Most were just for laughs, but then I hit on bank security dye packs, the kind that explodes, marking a thief for days. I called up my old college buddy Brian, now a security engineer. How can I make a homemade dye pack? He walked me through it. UV dye, a protein binder, pressure triggers. I spent my weekend making prototypes in the garage. First try, the dye exploded early, staining me purple for a week. Second try, better. Third, perfect. I built a hollowed-out book, filled it with dye, and rigged it with a delayed trigger. When I finally nailed the design, I labeled the box Luxury Spa Products, something Sophia couldn't resist. Friday morning, the decoy package was out on the porch, camera rolling. At 10:45, her white SUV rolled up. She strutted over, snatched the box, and strolled away. My heart pounded. 5 minutes. 10. Nothing. Then my phone pinged. George, dude, she's purple. I ran to the window. Sophia was in her driveway, yelling into her phone, covered head to toe in purple and yellow dye. Her pastel blazer ruined, her face a mess of shock and outrage. George stepped out, filming. You wanted proof, he called. Now you've got it. Sophia screamed at him to stop recording, but it only made the dye smear more. She bolted to her SUV, left handprints on the door, and sped off, probably straight to a pharmacy. For the first time in months, I laughed until I couldn't breathe. By that afternoon, the neighborhood Facebook group was on fire. Memes, videos, Queen Sophia's new look. She tried to delete every post, but the screenshots kept coming. For once, people weren't whispering, they were speaking out. Later, Sophia's lawyer. Husband tried to serve me a lawsuit for chemical assault. I forwarded the footage and my explanation to the police, property defense, using a legal deterrent. The cops took one look at the videos and grinned. Seems self-inflicted, one said. That night, the HOA board called an emergency meeting. The place was packed. Sophia tried to run the meeting like usual, but the crowd turned on her. Story after story came out. Missing gifts, stolen mail, fines for nothing. Even Mrs. Chun stood up, holding her granddaughter's doll, and said, "You took this from me." Then came the real bombshell. An audit revealed $57,000 missing from HOA funds. All signs pointed to Sophia. When the vote came, every hand but hers went up. She was removed as president, referred to investigators. Her husband trying to shout them down, but the crowd drowned him out. Security escorted them out, and as her scarf slipped, someone whispered, "Still purple." The laughter that followed was cathartic. News spread like wildfire. Purple-handed HOA president faces mail theft, fraud, embezzlement. Local TV picked it up, then the national outlets. Sophia became a meme, a cautionary tale. She tried to fight back online, but every post was met with purple paint jokes and more memes. A week later, movers loaded up her house. I watched from my porch as she drove away, the white SUV still stained around the handle. Maplewood breathed again. The new HOA president, Mrs. Chun, was fair and kind. George took over as safety coordinator, now more barbecues than bylaws. The package lockers went up, theft stopped, and for the first time, meetings were friendly. At one meeting, Mrs. Chun thanked me. "Don't thank me," I said. "Thank gravity. Everything that goes up must come down." Life returned to normal. I'd get my mail, wave to neighbors, even see my daughter laugh about Dad's purple paint story. One day, I found a note in the mailbox. You were right. Some stains don't fade, but some people do learn. SW. No threats, no excuses. Just that. Looking back, this wasn't just about a package thief. It was about what happens when you stop letting fear wear the mask of order. When neighbors speak up, the silence that protects bullies finally breaks. Maplewood found its voice, not because someone was punished, but because someone pushed back. Sometimes, the hardest fights aren't won with lawyers, but with patience, proof, and a little creative justice. What about you? Ever tangled with a neighborhood bully? Drop your story below. Tell me where you're watching from. And if you want more tales of karma and comeuppance, you know what to do. Subscribe. Because around here, poetic justice always finds its color.